Hi Evan, how you doing?
I'm very well, and you?
Yeah, very well. Thank you for inviting us to this beautiful villa. It's R9, right?
Yeah, R9, the collection Barari. Incredible villa, this.
It's stunning. You took me here, I think, a good couple of months back, didn't you?
Yeah. So we did a couple of tours, and you've brought through a couple of clients to this villa. It's an incredible villa, and it's one of the showstoppers in Barari right now.
I mean, just sitting here looking around, I mean, it's pretty sensational, and I've just noticed outside as well. That brings me to probably our first question is, so tell me a little bit about Barari. Why is it so attractive at the moment? Why is it really sort of gone on the market now?
Well, Barari has always been a showstopper community. The greenery around it's the oasis of Dubai. If you go into any community, whether it's a golfing community, whether it's a beach community, when you drive into Barari, you don't feel like you're in Dubai. So it is very popular with the European market. When you come in, you honestly are surrounded by greenery, you're surrounded by lakes, you're surrounded by rivers, and you've got these incredible custom villas on large plots. And you're just getting a lot more money and a lot more villa for your money, ultimately.
So I was going to say, that's my next question, actually, because I've noticed there's a lot of trends now where people are, especially coming into the market, mainly from Europe. I think that's right? A lot of Europeans, high net worths. But Barari really sort of like gone like a rocket ship.
Well, yeah. I mean, there's been some notable transactions in the community, especially just in the last couple of months. There's been 2 recorded transactions over 100 million dirham.
100 million?
Yeah. So, and in the past, I mean, your average villa in Barari was transacting between 18 to 25 mil. And then you got suddenly the collection coming into the fore, where these were all plots that were sold during the COVID kind of era. And these are all custom villas. And then also you've got villas in the reserve as well as the residences, where a lot of renovations have been taking place, and they've really been maximizing the BUA and the GFA on those villas, modernizing them, adding some additional amenities into the villas, such as spas and gyms and cinema rooms and so on. And you're still getting them under 100 million.
That's phenomenal value. And I think for me personally, and we've known each other for a good 5-6 years now.
Yeah.
And that was days from the address, wasn't it?
Correct.
And obviously more recently was Signature Mansions.
Correct.
Which is a very high profile 18 villa community in Jumeirah Golf Estates. Yeah. Now that was the pinnacle of Jumeirah Golf Estates, and I saw the value proposition there. I think as I've driven through today, and you just see the greenery, there is that sense of grounding, isn't it, here? And I think a lot of people, they tend to want to be away from the hustle and bustle. They want the privacy.
It's a private community.
And I think
very private.
When you look at the pricing now, tell me a little bit how that sort of like works with like the likes of Dubai Hills, for example, Jumeirah Golf Estates. What are you seeing there from people? Are they coming to these Barari?
Well, definitely. I mean, if you look at, even Jumeirah Islands. So Jumeirah Islands was an established community for many, many, many years, for example, and a lot of renovation projects started taking place in Jumeirah Islands, and you just saw the prices go up and up and up. And a villa's just recently transacted there at around 5,500 or 6,000 dirham per square foot.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, that's what 2-3x now?
It's incredible value of what you're getting now. But and then you look at Jumeirah Golf Estates, and the Jumeirah Golf Estates is going through that same transition, ultimately with the advent of the RTA and what's happening with Etihad Rail and the station, as well as the surrounding communities, as well as one of the most expensive schools that's coming into that area. A lot of people have gone into Jumeirah Golf Estates, and that's taken the price per square foot to an astronomical value. Where you look at Barari, it's always been a bigger villa. It's always been a bigger plot. It's always been a bigger apartment. It's always been a bigger townhouse. I'll give you a prime example. The Carissias are 5-bedroom townhouses that are over 6,000 square foot in built-up area.
That's phenomenal size.
It's huge.
You don't, from my knowledge, and obviously in this market, I don't recall a townhouse having that size, that BUA, that's technically it's pretty much 2x what you normally get, right?
Correct. And that's where the values come in. So people have bought those off plan at around 7-8 mil, depending on the location of where they are. In fact, some even transacted as low as 5 million when they were bought off plan.
5 million?
When you were looking at Carussia 1. And now you can struggle to try and find a Carussia 2 villa for under 15. You know, as when you do, it's like golden, I need to go and get that. So the amount of transactions that have happened in the area, as well as the growth that has happened in the area. You've also got to remember, Barari is a very small community in comparison to the likes of Jumeirah Golf Estates, Dubai Hills, even Emirates Hills. There's only...
I was going to say, on that point, sorry to interrupt, just tell the viewers how many residences, if you like, just keep it to villas, not the apartments, so to speak. How many residences, villas are there in the clusters in total,
so
roughly?
Independent villas, you're looking at 180 residence villas. You're looking at 40 Lunaria villas. Then you've got some of the collections, which is around 24 villas that are currently ready.
Yep.
And then you've got the Nest villas, which are only 55. That's it. You know, so... And then you've got Altissimas that are going to be ready in the next year and a half, 18 months. There's only 23 mansions that are being built there. Fountain Drive, there was only 13. So it's simple economics here. There's always going to be a supply and demand issue.
I was going to say that because in Dubai, we've seen the real estate market and everything's big, bolder and brash, right?
Correct.
But I think a lot of people now are moving into the space of quality.
Correct.
They want space. They want privacy.
Yeah.
And they're prepared to pay a small premium, sometimes a bigger premium, to have that.
Yeah.
So in your opinion, and where you are today, and we're in this beautiful villa, just give me some ballparks on this villa. Where do you see this going? What's the demographic of buyer at the moment? And tell me a bit more for the people that are looking at Barari, and why this would be an attractive proposition.
The demographic for a buyer of this villa, and you can just take a walk around. I mean, it's a full turnkey villa. Incredible spec on this villa. You've got color cut marble to,
Well, you just look around us here.
Fendi, as well as Natuzzi, Gaggenau appliances. You've got a show kitchen, a back kitchen. You've got 4 garages.
That's key, isn't it? The kitchens, because a lot of people, especially Europeans, and I've known Miele, Gaggenau, they're the sort of like, you must have these now.
But not only from an appliance perspective, but you've got a park and pole
Park and pole kitchen.
So it sits on a 20,000 square foot plot. 13,800.
Just say that again, 20,000 square foot plot. So if you bench that, if you're looking for that type of plot, it's very rare to get there anywhere in Jumeirah Golf Estates. Dubai Hills Estate, it's very difficult. Even the big ticket stuff, they're very limited in terms of that size that I'm aware of. So you are narrowing that sort of pool, aren't you, to the plots?
Well, that's exactly it. I mean, and you know that a lot of the developers that are now selling off plan and selling luxury developments with branded residences, you look at the Karl Lagerfeld developments, you look at District 1, you look at anything that's happening across the city right now, the Ritz-Carltons, all of those are branded residences, luxury residences, all big ticket items that can reach up to over $100 million ultimately. But from a size perspective, nothing competes. To try and find 20,000 square foot plot anywhere in Dubai, in any community, is very difficult.
That is the challenge, because a lot of people won't compromise on the plot sizes. They're used to big backyards in their other countries. They've come here. Like from our side, we're Equestrians, and as you well know, my wife's always saying, look, we want to eventually get something like a farm, a big acreage.
Yeah.
You'll struggle to find anything like that right now here, and especially in the prime real estate sector.
Yeah.
Even if you go into like prime waterfront, which is even more challenging, like the villas, the signature villas, you're not getting beyond 13, 15,000. I think that's correct, right?
Correct.
So the value proposition here is for all to see. Now, let's just talk about that for a moment. You talked about Barari. You talked about the scarcity. which is obviously basic economics. Okay, less of something, there's an increase in value. Okay, so let's just touch on a subject where I think it's really tapped on the last 15, 16 months. I know a couple of your big clients have already done this. So let's look at the refurb options. Let's look at the Al Barari as a whole. So currently we were discussing a villa you have at the moment. So just give our listeners an understanding of what the opportunity cost is, where the value add is, and where you say if you had X, let's assume you had 50 million dirhams. Where would you, if you had said about 50 million dirhams, all in, what would you do with that now?
Oh, 100% buy an Al Barari. I would take one of the residence villas, for example.
And that's the one with 188, they're in clusters, right?
Yeah. So in the residences, you've got 4 different types. You've got, and for lack of a better word, A type, B type, C type, and a D type.
And these are varying degrees of sizes, obviously, right?
Yeah. The D type being the smallest, which is the Dahlia. That's why I call
it's still pretty big, right?
Yeah, it starts off at just under 13,000 square foot in built up area.
13,000 square foot, and that's the smallest.
Yeah.
So that's just give you some reference points.
And then it goes all the way up to the A type, which is 16,500 square foot in built up area, 2 basements, and normally sits on around 16.5 plus.
See, that's the thing, the basement space, that's usable basement space, right?
Correct, and it's already there, so you don't need to
excavate.
Again get new DDA permits or municipality permits in order to excavate or to knock it flat in order to get a basement. You've got those 2 basement spaces.
So essentially, you've got unlocked potential, unlocked value in that. Now, what I understand is on this subject we've discussed is that a lot of people are coming in, they're buying in the residences as is. Just give me an idea of ticket price for if you used to take one today as is.
Yeah, well, a good located one and a good size-wise, you're looking at around the 35 to 36 mil mark.
So you're looking over the 10 million, 11 million US dollar mark, right?
Correct.
Subject to currency fluctuations and stuff. So it's certainly within the parameters what we're looking at the moment.
Yes. And then GFA costing is around 1,200 to 1,300 dirham per square foot.
And just for people that don't know GFA costing, just explain GFA for a lot of people.
So in order to increase the built-up area on a specific villa, you would need to purchase additional GFA. And
gross floor area.
Correct.
Effectively, that's you're increasing the built-up premise, basically, right?
Correct.
And there are obviously limits and permutations for that, but we have understanding that there is obviously guidelines that you have.
Yeah.
What is the guideline here, roughly?
Well,
it varies. So
it varies from villa to villa, but ultimately, I have seen somebody increase their villa from 14,500 square foot in built-up area all the way up to 22,800 square foot.
That's huge.
That's huge.
So, yeah, net. Now, what's that in percent? Excuse my maths. We're talking what?
It's an additional 50%.
50% of built up, which is fantastic value add for that property,
correct.
Right? Now,
and then you've got so much more space. So once again, you're not having to sacrifice any rooms. So often when you are doing a renovation project and you are limited to space, ultimately you are needing to sacrifice bedroom spaces in order to try and add some
knock amenities. A wall here, you have to lose that to make that space, for example, put an extended walk-in wardrobe, which is quite colossal. So all these added benefits, right?
Yeah, and so a 5-bedroom villa in Jumeirah Golf Estates with a little bit of an extension now becomes a 4-bedroom villa with a gym or a cinema room.
So you're looking to sell the benefit, the extra amenities, as opposed to you're losing that bedroom, for example.
Correct.
Now, on the residence, I know you showed me one which was just recently transacted, which was phenomenal. The finishing, I mean, this is a phenomenal villa. That one was an exceptionally well-presented villa.
Yeah.
Just quickly, they have the rooftop terraces, right? That's an added benefit, right?
Yes. So the rooftop terrace, once again, you've got full downtown skyline view because Al Barari kind of sits up above all of that. And in front of Al Barari, in between here and downtown, you've literally got Sheikh Hamdan's Reserve. So you've got uninterrupted downtown.
I think that's just behind us, right?
Correct. Just on the other side of this beautiful wall is Sheikh Hamdan's Reserve. So you've got uninterrupted views of downtown, which is incredible.
So that's remarkable here. And this is what I love about Al Barari. And I, to your point, 10 years ago, when 213 arrived, everyone was like, Al Barari, where is Al Barari? No one really gave it a time of day. all of a sudden, the last 3 years specifically, and since we've been speaking a lot on this subject, it's just been exponentially getting more popular and more popular and more popular. And obviously, the network of clients I work with, and certainly you, a lot of them are professional sports stars, a lot of people that want privacy, high net worths. And I think to that point, a lot of people are migrating from the sort of key areas away. Even if, like, you cannot be, people like sea, some don't like sea. It's very simple, like the beach life. I think they come here to literally privacy, unwind, the kids are safe, it's beautiful walks, take the dog for a walk, you're surrounded by greenery. It's like walking out in Bali, right?
Correct. It's not only that, as much as people say that El Barari is far out, it is well connected into the city, and a lot more connected into the city than people actually anticipate.
Just give the guys an understanding. So where we're positioned today, if I was to go, let's assume DXB, I need to go to DXB airport, I'm catching a flight, how long will I need?
Oh, you would need 25 minutes?
So 25 minutes. Let's assume you live in Emirates Hills. You've got Sheikh Zayed Road at Haxton. You're looking at 30, 40 minutes, right?
You're looking, if
probably,
it's an accident, you're looking at a lot
I'm probably
more
being
than
a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Disingenuous there. But to your point, a lot of everything at the moment is moving more central.
Correct.
And it's slightly moving towards Al Maktoum Airport, because obviously the new road system, we're on the 311.
Yeah.
Which is a straight road down into DWC.
Yeah.
Which, how long is that roughly, give or take, on a good day?
Oh, not even 25 minutes.
So 25 minutes.
Everything is about 25 minutes from here. And once again, you've got to remember, Latifa Road is going to be coming up right through just past Al Barari. So once again, that's going to cut your traffic into downtown quite a bit, and Business Bay. So,
see, that to me, that makes a lot of sense. So we've looked at the opportunity cost here. We've looked at why Al Barari's become attractive. Who are your typical buyers in Al Barari at this time?
Wow, Europeans, Asians. I would say it's a really good mix. Unlike a lot of other communities where you can actually pick one nationality, I would say over the last year, every single transaction, I don't think I've had a repeat nationality.
So it's been a mix of demographic, right?
Yeah, mix of Germans, mix of French, mix of Italians, all the way to British expats. You've got Asian expats all the way from India, Singapore. You've got this huge mix all the way through. I would say that the Americas are still always slow, but they've been slow within Dubai as a whole. But there is a strong Latin community within.
That's interesting. The Latin community, I've noticed the last 2 years specifically, a lot of South American money has been trickling into the UAE.
Correct.
And I think for various reasons.
Yeah.
But obviously we're very much more crypto friendly and very digital currency space, which is opening a new world.
Yeah.
And I think that the way things are moving with hedge funds, private equity, a lot of fund and capital coming into the country.
Yeah.
Not just Dubai, but like in the major sort of finance hub like Abu Dhabi now. I think that's just testament to where we're going in the UAE.
Yeah.
And I think we're seeing a lot more, when you get a lot more institutional capital coming in, it's like a benchmark saying, yes, I'm interested. Therefore, more people, high net worths, are coming on the back of that and spending the money. So it's just trying to understand where that money is going to be positioned.
Yeah.
And like we've discussed, like Dubai Hills, Al Barari obviously is the top two. You've got Emirates Hills is obviously Emirates Hills, but there's a lot of people migrating from Emirates Hills to here now, correct?
Correct.
Tell me a little bit about that. Tell me, what is the reasoning for that?
Well, ultimately, when you're picking up a renovated residence villa that is now 22,000 square foot in built-up area, and it's got all your amenities inside it, and you're picking that up for under 100 million. And
this in dirhams, correct?
This is 100 million in dirhams.
That's all in, done.
All in and done. Full turnkey, beautiful marble, beautiful finishes, beautiful furniture. All the way through, incredible landscape and views, and they can exit on their Emirates Hills villa at 150 to 200 mil.
They can put some capital in the bank, they acquire they can take leverage, or they can buy it outright.
And they don't need to downgrade their lifestyle at all.
Or even just keep that one, remortgage it, take the equity out, buy this, they have two asset classes, and they can spend time in either or.
Yeah.
Pretty much what we're doing in the UK or Europe.
Pretty much exactly the same. So ultimately, you're seeing a lot of families buying their second homes here because they're getting the same kind of size as what they're getting in Emirates Hills now, and they're getting it at a fraction of the cost.
So you would say the opportunity cost here is has a lot more potential, especially for growth, whereas Emirates Hills has always been the benchmark, the Beverly Hills of Dubai, right?
Yes, it has.
So now it's shifted. So we're seeing a wealth transfer of asset classes moving to more contemporary build, more there's some very good contemporary villas there for sure.
Yes.
But the ticket price is north of 250, 300. So it's very hard to justify that, isn't it?
It's also the amount that you're getting for your money. So the value for money that you're getting in Al Barari is still incredible. And that is why I still say that there's a community that is going to grow. It's a community that is going to grow from a price per square foot. Right now...
Where are we now? So let's, excuse me, so this on that point, price per square foot, R9, where are we approximately on price per square foot?
You're only looking at around 5.5.
So I'm coming in at 5.5. There's still an uplift on that, obviously, because the community is still growing.
Yeah.
Right. Now, if I compare that to, let's take the Palm, what you're getting, we're at 7, right? 7,000 dirham plus. That's for, I'm being conservative.
Very
7 to 9 in some areas. You've got 24 carat that's changed, transferred. Some very notable transactions that have been north of 250, 300. They're obviously exponentially at 10,000 plus. You've obviously got Jumeirah Bay, which is obviously the billionaire's row.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people, and I think there's some more inventory coming on. I do think that Al Barari, for me, if I'm doing my numbers, logistically and just based on economics, makes a lot of sense.
Well,
from a risk perspective as well.
You look at this asset, a very similar asset just transacted in the collection.
Yep.
For 107 million dirham.
And that's literally, where is that in context of this next door?
It's just down the road.
Just down the road.
Down the road. And it is literally transacted at 6,900 dirham per square foot and built-up area.
So we can enter this approximately, if I may say so, just this is a guidelines. This is a 5. Let's call it 5, right? Plus or minus. Okay, and that's sold at what?
At 6.9.
6.9. So there is your built-in margin. Now, if you're not greedy and you're smart, and let's assume you buy this and you want to keep it as a family home, there is, and maybe you want to do something, because some people have their own stamp on it, right? Let's assume you wish to then sell it in 2-3 years' time. There's obviously, there's an increase in value on that, right?
There's also about what's happening within Al Barari from a large perspective. You've got to remember Fountain Drive villas are now only starting to be, I think the first one will be finished in Q4 this year. And those are 13 mansions.
1-3.
1-3.
13 mansions.
13 mansions that are all on around 36,000, average 34 to 36,000 square foot plots.
That's the plot, right?
Yeah.
And BUA?
BUA, you're going to have a bit of a mix of around 35 to some pushing the envelope at around 55,000 square foot. But those are going to start transacting at 250 mil plus.
215?
250.
250
plus. So you'll have 100. Yes, you'll have the one that transacted at 180, very similar to Hills View and Hills Grove in Dubai Hills, where you'll have the one that transacts at the 150, 180, and then you'll have the premium one that has got the incredible fit out and the incredible furniture and a little bit more.
Because that's something I want to discuss with you very briefly, and you've hit that now on the head. You can have copy paste, but what, in your opinion, separates Villa A to Villa B? Is it in terms of the finishing, the quality of the finishing, the specifications they did? So you're buying, you're basically coming from Europe. I have a high, my wife's coming in, for example. Let's face it, most wives come and look, they love to see, and they tick the box, right?
Correct.
Most of the time, okay? But the gent stands behind and goes, like, he understands woodwork, he understands craftsmanship, he looks at the stone, he looks at what brands have been used. I think that's more important now than it has been in the last 5 years.
Oh, without a doubt.
And this is where adds value to that villa, correct?
It adds astronomical value.
And it gives credibility.
Yes, I've been into a villa where it's been an incredible villa, but even when you can see specific snags with your naked eye, someone will come in and see that's a small little snag, or that's a little. It immediately drops down that price by a couple of million.
Because automatically you start thinking, if that's gone wrong there, what else is potentially wrong? I need to do a full snag. And let's be frank, most people at that level have a team that will come in pre-MOU as part of the sales and onboarding condition, effectively.
Correct.
They say, look, on the proviso my team come in, do a full snagging list, I will give you my offer.
And I dare you to try and find any snags within this villa, for example. This villa is immaculately done.
I mean, I'm just looking, one of the key things here, I was just looking at the use of space, the marble, the travertine, everything you see. What is the wood here we have? What is it?
So we've got a full Sherwell fit out. They did all the joinery.
That stands out. And I remember going to the study, that was epic. I mean, the kitchen cabinetry is beautifully curated. You can see the attention to detail. And I love the upstairs. We'll show you later. You've got like that little like pantry area that you can take in, take out. It's just very smartly done. These little things like that make the difference.
Yes.
And I think when I've worked on large projects, exclusive projects, north of $10 million US, I think this is a basic requirement.
Yes.
It needs to be done.
Yeah.
If you have something priced at X, I won't mention names, you devalue that proposition if you don't have that. It's like you've just devalued your asset class.
Yes.
And people that are serious will just say thank you and walk on.
The villa is incredibly unique. And when you taken around on a tour a little bit later, you're going to understand a lot more of what you see here is something that you cannot get in Dubai. And while there may be similar styles or contemporary looks in various different other communities, the feel and the lifestyle that you get here, you cannot get anywhere else.
Just driving here today, I met you at the Farm restaurant, which for those who don't know, it's a beautiful, locally sourced food. Everything's sourced locally. Just that fresh smoothie we had, it was really lovely, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And it really is zesty. And I've seen a lot of families here. A lot of people just hang out there at weekends. You got the gym around the corner.
Yeah, so you just got you've got the Heart and Soul spa. You've got the gym. You've got everything right here on your doorstep.
So you don't really need to leave at the weekend. You can relax. And most of your clients and most of the people in Barari have their own gym in-house.
Also, you've got to remember, right next door is Low Restaurant, which is a Michelin star restaurant.
And tell me which other communities have Michelin star restaurants. That's a big
You can
tick.
actually go there on your golf cart. That's how close it is.
I love that. I really love that. And for those people that don't know Barari, what we'll do a pan of the community and we'll build that in so you can see everything. But when you come here, you're just a million miles away from the beach, aren't you? You just feel like you're on another planet. It's like you've landed in either Singapore or Bali.
Correct.
It's like completely unique. On that point, so I just want to ask you a question. So we've talked about quite a broad number of subjects, and I've brought this just to fundamental. Now, here's another one for you. They're the big ticket. If someone gave you $100 million tomorrow to invest in Dubai, where are you buying? It's quite a broad subject. I know we talked about this. So that's, what's that, 360 million? What would, on Evans, where would you say, look, I suppose you'll circle back and buy a couple here, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I would have to say that I would invest quite a bit into Barari.
So would you say it's probably more prudent, and I know one of your clients is a very active investor.
Correct.
Multitude in properties he has across the board, but specifically Barari. Would you say at that sort of level, you're probably mindful and smart to actually buy 3-5 villas with the intention to have them and brand them, not brand them, but set a benchmark, set a precedent. So you're known as the guy that's done that. I want that, copy paste, do this one.
And one or two investors have actually done that within Barari. And one of the larger transactions in the residences that transacted at 80 million, that villa would have been bought for around 20 million.
So those people, just simple numbers, and this is what I love about Dubai, and I think it has a great opportunity, and it's created more millionaires than most asset classes in the last 3 to 5 years, right? Post-COVID. What sort of return metrics? Let's look at two options. So we got the return on investment. Let's look at the return on equity, which is the most important one, I think, because ROI is important to a degree, but for those that want capital and growth, return on equity is what you've put into an asset and what you can see that on the exit.
Well, you've got to remember the guys that entered into the renovation game in Barari would have bought these same villas that I'm going to be talking about at as low as 14 to 22 million, for example, even though the pricing has shifted quite dramatically.
Which across the board, that's gone
Which
up.
it has.
Everywhere you go, it's gone up.
in my mind, it's a little bit irrelevant because their exit strategy, I can tell you right now that when Mansion 8 was developed and first purchased for a renovation project, their exit wasn't going to be at 80 million.
What was the exit perceived to be?
I would have,
based on comps and based on CMAs, as you
65.
do. So you've
65
overshot.
million.
They've exceeded that expectation.
Yes.
By 15 million.
Oh, 100%.
So
they were coming in to always set a record. They were always coming in to set a record, and they would have set that record quite easily. However, they would have been okay at the 65 mil mark. Now that pricing has shifted, obviously they priced it based on where the pricing has shifted to. And that's just going to continue to grow over the next few years. So even if you are purchasing an A-type at 35 million, for example, there is going to be, depending on how much you pour in and what you do to the villa, you can expect very easily around the 90 to 95 mil mark.
That's an exit.
At exit.
So we're looking somewhere in the region of 40 to 50% ROE. Is that correct? Return on equity. Would you say that's fair?
Well, I'd say it's more than fair, and it's quite easily doable.
Now, and that's based on comps that we've seen transact, haven't we?
Correct.
And I mean, we missed out on one actually, and this is what happens in the game.
Yeah.
You get the guys, and the guy actually came back to us and was a bit like, do you know what? I missed the boat there.
Yeah.
And I said, well, you have. Because we won't mention it, but it was in the cluster, and it was a very good value, and we did the analysis. They'd have easily walked away at 45%.
Correct.
But that's the name of the game.
And the person who's bought that particular villa is going to achieve that.
Which is and that's just the business.
Yeah.
You have to be do your numbers, crunch, do your analysis, and you've got to have it here. If it's a gut feeling and it's good, go for it.
The one thing I must say though is that in other communities, I've seen a lot of players get in from a renovation perspective and not do things kind of correctly.
Well, I know a couple of those, and you've got for example, you have the big plots. You've got a beautiful. They've extended the BA tick.
Yeah.
But they've really let the kitchen down. They've put porcelain on the floor, and you're like, what have you just done?
Yeah.
You've really devalued. It's like it's. We have a saying, if I could say it in English, you said you can't put lipstick on a pig and make it look good, right?
Correct.
So,
and you can't come into a renovation project and expect these kind of ROIs and the return of investments if you're not going to be pouring in the right amount of capital. And the one thing that you need to understand is that you need to be pouring in around 20 to 25 million, depending on
get the required results.
To get the required results. You're wanting the cinemas. You're wanting the spas. You're wanting to walk into a villa like this and go, that's color cut and marble. That's a Poch and Pole kitchen. That's a Gaggenau.
Because these people know this. They understand this.
Minotti furniture. That's Natuzzi. That is, they're wanting to know exactly what is this floor? What is that brand? What is this? Has it got this home automation? Is it a branded home automation? I want to know that I can walk into my villa and not have any problems or any snags whatsoever moving forward. And I've seen certain guys that do an okay job and they get an okay price. The guys who do a phenomenal job, that Mansion 8 that sold was done by BCI, Build Corp, and they did a phenomenal job.
I saw, we went in that and I was so impressed.
Yeah.
And it really set the benchmark. That opened my eyes a lot. And thanks to your guidance here, and obviously for those watching in Dubai, we've always said, this brings me to my next question. I think when you present and represent sellers in this market, it's so important to represent them in the best possible way. You're not there just to position a property. It's at X, and you're just going to lowball them. You need to have understanding of the communities. You have to understand of what's going on, CMAs. You have to understand the nooks and crannies. What makes the community special?
Yes.
And I think I was going to ask you this question. So I pretty much know the answer, but how would you sell this property? Like R9 Marina, it's a fantastic asset class, right? What would you say are the if I may, just to be clear, the do's and don'ts? What would you, Evern, you're the professional, you already engage a lot of good people. How would you take this to market, and what do you do? What's your...
Well, number one, you've got to have presence on the portals. So, you've got to have presence on the portals. That is one of the
people need to know you're there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Property Finder, Bayut, all those portals exist for a reason, and you're still getting a large majority of your lead base and lead flow.
So essentially, it's your virtual shopping window, right?
Correct.
So if I'm in the US, I'm in Europe, I can quickly go on, done.
Correct.
Okay.
The other factor is your agent network. So your agent network is not just within Barari itself.
A bit like you and I, effectively.
Correct. So you've got a strong agent network within the community itself, and I'm constantly viewing with other strong agents within the community and taking them around. In fact, we took some of your buyers through to another agent's listing and showed them around, and it's an incredible Villa Blanco, that we went and saw. And then there's agents outside of the community. So you've got to make sure that you've got an agent network in Dubai Hills, Jumeirah Golf Estates, Emirates Hills, Emirates Living, The Palm, downtown, District 1, all the surrounding high net worth areas that have villas that are 100 mil or 50 mil all the way up to...
So they have effectively they have a proven track record at that level, number one.
Correct.
Two, they had existing client base which can transact to that level.
Correct.
They've done the full AML, KYC, which is very important, because that's another subject down the line which has become more apparent now, where one has to do due diligence on the buyers and sellers and so forth, because you have to.
Yeah.
And I was going to say the agent network is very strong, but obviously having a presence within the community, like your good self, is that I've called you a couple of times and I've said, Evan, look, I've got a guy in town, he's coming in, he's flying X, he's giving me a mandate. We've worked together for 6 years, give or take, on different asset classes. So the buyer's qualified. Yeah. But then it's down to they need to immerse themselves in the community.
Every community has its own lifestyle.
Sure.
And I wouldn't say that one is better than the other. It's just got a total different lifestyle.
Like Dubai Hills Estate is known for golf.
Correct.
If you're a golfer or Jumeirah Golf Estates, it's the championship golf courses, Greg Norman.
Close to downtown,
you go there
for work purposes, or close to a specific schooling. All of these factors come into play. And ultimately understanding what's in the community and being able to educate your buyer. I had a German client come in and view this particular property. And what he needed to understand is, okay, perfect. If I purchase this property, what schools can my kids go to? Where is the closest hospital? Where is the closest shopping mall? Where is this? Where is that? So that he could understand what this villa and the lifestyle that this villa would give him. Is he going to be frustrated after purchasing this villa that 1 month down the line, he is now traveling an hour?
He's restricted to what he wants to do. He's
Correct.
now, which is actually making him feel regrettable. It's like the buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
Why have I just bought?
Yeah.
So I think the due diligence process and understanding that side is very important.
Yes. So often you would have these agents, and I always tell them straight, if they're coming in for a viewing, we are going to be viewing for quite a considerable time. Even we might be only viewing one villa, we will be going through the community.
Just to immerse the family,
offers.
what this actually offers. It's not just a beautiful villa on a 20,000 plot, for example.
You've got to buy the community too.
You have to be embedded in it, right? It's like DNA.
Yes.
It's your DNA effectively. Yeah. So that's interesting. I think that's across the board, isn't it, for most areas? Yeah. But I think Barari by nature, it's smaller demographic.
Yeah.
So when something does come on, it's quite hot. So I'm assuming you've got quite a lot of competition.
Yes.
In the area, which I know is healthy. We always say good competition is healthy and it keeps you on top of your game.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just going to work through a few more questions with you, if you don't mind. So what have we got here? Yeah, we talked about, just very briefly, we talked about the ROI, we talked about return on investment, we talked about the amenities, which is very important. Okay, quick one. So I'll throw this at you. Let's have a look. So where is your head now? Do you see the off-plan market still, I mean, we're diversing a little bit here, off-plan ready? Where's your head at? What do you feel good value for money? Do you still think the refurb market is the better way to go? Do you think off-plan? What's your thoughts?
Well, I'm always a blended investor.
Yep.
So I don't, going onto the stock market, I don't just go and buy one stock.
You diversify.
I diversify. And if you, going back to that whole $100 million analogy, I would once again diversify. And in my book, in El Barari, if I had to spend all of that in El Barari, I would purchase 4 to 5 residence villas to upgrade. I would then purchase some secondary resales in the Altissimas. And why? Because the Altissimas, still from a value proposition perspective, even though you are now purchasing them at around the 60 to 65 mil mark, depending on the location.
I think they're great value. What you've shared to me previously, I really think they have a lot of scope.
Yeah, 27,000 square foot villa on a 20,000 square foot plot in a great location, modern contemporary. Yes, maybe at the end I would spend another 5 to 10 mil just personalizing it, just so that because I mean the basements do come a little bit shell and core, so I would be putting in my own personalized cinema room and my personalized gym and spa.
That obviously adds a lot of credibility, a lot of value to the proposition.
Correct. And those will in the future will transact at around the 100 mil mark.
Well, if you look at what's trading now, and they're newer, 7 beds, right?
Correct.
7 beds, and they're beautifully designed, and I'm excited to see them come to market. Here's a question for you, mate. I know you're El Barari and you're El Barari focused, but you do tend to have clients that have assets in different areas.
Correct.
Which other areas would you say is quite a decent crossover? So, because you're gonna have clients come here, where would you say, okay, if they're not, they love the houses, but perhaps the community is not for them. Where do you find a lot of your buyers where's the number 2, number 3? Number
2 and 3, I would say, is Talal Al Gaf and Jumeirah Golf Estates.
Well, I think they're great proximity.
Yeah.
A great family, great schools.
Yes.
RGS has come on. Obviously, the Polo and Equestrian Club, if you're on Equestrian, you've got the stand, you've got the Grand Polo up the other end from EMA, that's going to be Polo. So there's a lot of Equestrian-orientated facilities, golf courses.
Arabian Ranches 1 is now become the center of the city.
It's incredible.
You know,
do you remember the days we used to drive from Sakim and everyone go, where are you going? I'm going to view a property in our branches. They'd say,
remember the days
what are you doing? It's miles out.
When Hessa stopped just before Sheikh Hamdan. So Hamdan Road didn't exist. Damac, in order to get there, you had to go around to get on the 611 and come back down in order to get into Damac. So it was an absolute nightmare.
It's funny, isn't it? And like you said, VRTA, all the infrastructure roadworks, well, you can just see by the Ranches roundabout.
Yeah.
That big flyover now is a $multi-million investment gone in. They've really forward-thinking, improving traffic flow. It's going to help a lot of people.
And once again, if you look at whenever the RTA announces anything from a road perspective and what drives value into those communities, and especially from a traffic
it's the in and out, isn't it? You don't want to be stuck.
In and out. I know that even that Al Qudra roundabout and the flyover, that has already started to impact Damac Hills. It's already started to impact.
Well, you're seeing prices increase, aren't you? Sales revenue's gone up.
Arabian Ranches too. Even the lower transacting communities like Town Square and Mira, those are starting to now increase in value just simply because the traffic flow, they know that in the next 6 months is going to be a lot easier. So the frustrating cause of not purchasing in that area because of traffic has now been done away with.
That's been dealt with.
Same with El Barari, and this is why I keep on harping on it, is that if you look at what they're doing now with the underpass into El Barari, as well as Latifa coming up all the way
Well, that's something I wanted to discuss with you.
That is going to impact, once again, pricing, and it's going to drive the value through the roof.
So you're going to see significant increases, even with supply as it is, you're going to see considerable uplift in value add for that reason.
Yeah.
And as we've discussed, I think, and I've done the maths. And I actually challenge a lot of people to go on. You've got a lot of freedom of information now.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of DLD activity in terms of what's traded, what's not. You've got very good data sets. You got Unite Franks, JW, Jones Lang LaSalle. You've got CBRE, all of their reports, and they're all focusing on like the maturing of the prime residential market. And because the buy is not just one market, it's this macro and micro cycles and different segments. Where do you see on that point? Where do you still see the prime sector, and if you like the semi-prime sector like we're in now? Do you still that's obviously going to grow for the foreseeable?
Well, I don't think there's enough inventory
At this level?
At this level, I don't think there's enough inventory at this level, and I do see this continuing to grow. I don't think it will grow quite at the percentages that it has been over the last
Agreed.
5 years.
So compound that over, let's assume, I think we can all agree we've had exponential increase in capital, which is like phenomenal. Correct. We've made some, people have become millionaires overnight.
But it's been across the board, and it doesn't matter what property. So
correct.
You could literally throw a dart against the board and go, okay, cool.
That's a good analogy, actually, because that's pretty much it, right?
And you would make money. Now you've got to be a little bit more selective on what you're purchasing in order to make money. And once again, it comes down to there's not enough inventory in villas and townhouses.
That's a proven track record. Yep.
It's proven, especially when you're looking at handovers of over 80% of the market, property market that is going to be handing over is going to be apartments.
That's actually quite scary when you look at it that way, because there's a high volume of apartments coming on. I think the apartment market, excuse me, you're starting to see a lot of people divesting in the apartment market. Not for any other reason, but they just feel that they've probably peaked.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to start seeing that sort of slow down a little bit. It's more of a correction based on numbers.
Yeah.
But I think the villa community, a lot more middle class, and not all millionaires, but a lot of middle class families leaving tax havens, the tax issues with Europe, they come here and they want either leasing or they want houses. But trouble is, trying to get them is very difficult.
Correct.
And as you know full well, that they're having to come up with some new master developments that have these things, but they're going to be 2-3 years to be built.
Yeah.
So you're actually getting pent up demand to move into those areas.
I see where, from a villa slowdown perspective, it really comes down, if you're looking at even from a renovation market side, I think the lower end is going to start to struggle, especially with some of the handovers of newer communities. If you look at certain developers, for example, if you're not already renovating within Arabian Ranches 1,
you've missed out already.
You've missed
because the acquisition price is swallowed your margins.
Correct. So the acquisition price has swallowed your margins. You're struggling, and it's going to be difficult to find good value in areas like Meadows, and sometimes even in Jumeirah Golf Estates, to a certain degree.
Well, that I agree. I think those 3 areas you've mentioned, 3, 4, they've already started to see a plateau where people have actually taken on projects, realizing they haven't done the maths correctly, and perhaps they now need to look, I'm either going to exit it now as is to get my money back and reinvest it in something else, or just carry the can and hold it.
Yeah.
The problem is with that is that the more you hold on to capital, your opportunity for growth slims. And here's the key: a lot of smart people. I'm not a financier, but you speak to smart people in the business. You can get a cash-on-cash account now, high interest for 6%. Put $1 million in there. You can liquidate that quite quickly.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people are going, Martin, actually, we're going to check the markets and see what happens with the geopolitically, look at money. We talked about money devaluations like the dollar and so forth. This has massive impact on our market.
Yeah.
Because if the dollar devalues, because we're pegged, it's good for Europeans. If the sterling's up and euro's up, they come in, they're getting a 10-15% haircut.
Yeah.
Like we've discussed. And I think some of your buyers are looking at Barari with acquisition costs. It pays for their acquisition costs, right?
Well, it pays absolutely everything. And you've also got to remember that the other side is that when you look at inventory and what all the other launches and projects and even branded residence projects, nothing is as big as what you're going to get here. So
well, that's for sure.
When you're doing a villa up at 20,000 square foot and built up area, where in Dubai are you picking up a 20,000 square foot villa with all your amenities and luxuries for under 100 million?
Just to put that in perspective, I won't mention too many names, but in communities, it's in sub-communities, but some of them are at 4,500, 5,000, 5,500 plus square footage. And you're talking a BUA, not more than 16,000, which already at the limits.
Yeah.
Here you've got extended limits, so the opportunity is logical. Now, we'll start wrapping this up because I'm sure people are very interested, but probably don't want to fall asleep.
Yeah.
But so in essence, Barari is obviously the crown jewel, something you're really passionate about. I actually see why, and I can see the villas you show me. Quick synopsis. What's your professional intake next 6 months? what do you see is going to happen, and a quick final on this villa. What you think we could what we'll transact at?
Well, the asking price on this villa is 75 mil.
75 million dirhams, correct?
Correct.
Right.
Fully furnished, full turnkey.
That's including everything. So if we used to turn it upside down, everything that falls out is included, basically.
Everything's included. Everything that you see is included.
And it comes with a full spec sheet, everything done, warranties, everything.
Everything. It's incredibly done. You won't find a better villa like this. It's incredible. It's so custom.
It's challenging. And one thing we didn't cover, how many car parkings it's got?
It's got 4.
4 parkings, and plus outside, 4
plus a full
garage,
massive driveway.
massive. So technically, you can have 10 cars here, right? Effectively, easily, and still without moving them around.
Yeah.
You have maids,
drivers.
Dirty kitchen.
Dirty kitchen. You've got show kitchen, 5 bedrooms, all en suite. You've got a beautiful South Africans call it a pajama lounge. You've got a family living.
Actually, I remember that. That's just up there.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite areas. I would be
area.
there, mate. Leave the kids. I'm there. Thank you.
Family living area upstairs. You've got a small little gym, and that's actually perfect for those days where you've gotten home late from work. You couldn't be bothered to literally go 200 meters down the road to the big gym in the community, and you just want to get a quick workout in, and it's done. It's easy. You've got an incredible office space to work from home that opens out into your outdoor entertainment space. So
this is what's important to me, and I think a lot of families, the indoor-outdoor concept.
Yeah.
You can literally host a lot of people, family gatherings here, parties, and it's still relatively quiet and private.
It's incredibly private. Incredibly private.
Well, what we're going to do, guys, we're going to show you around at some point. We'll get an ins and outs of the villa. And what I like to do is, based on this podcast, is anyone's interested, would like to know more about this villa, just you can hit myself or Evern up. I'd love to go through it with you, and we can have a private consultation.
Correct.
Evern will be on hand to give you a professional, candid, non-obligatory walkthrough, stroke understanding of what you can buy. Yeah. And there are other alternatives, options that you have under your books.
Definitely.
So thank you very much for your time, mate.
No, thank you.
Pleasure. Let's look forward to the next one. And this time we'll go to the Polar Homes and have a look over there.
Okay.
Thanks, mate.